Coming into this season, there was a lot of hope that we would see a title fight, as we didn't really get to see one in 2022 due to Max Verstappen running away with the championship, breaking many records whilst doing so. The hope was that Mercedes and Ferrari will be able to make the gap to Red Bull, and we might even see 6 drivers in contention for the championship. But as we all seen so far this season, it's been so far from the case in 2023. Red Bull has a car that is much quicker than everyone else's, and so far as we speak, they have won every single race of the season, which is the polar opposite of a total fight. It is pure domination. Verstappen has been winning races by 20 and 30 second gaps, showing how nobody is in his league and how nobody is in Red Bull's league. But in some of the recent races, we have seen some signs of improvements of the rivals to Red Bull in Aston Martin and Mercedes as they bring upgrades to the track and bridge the enormous gap. In today's video, we will be talking about how the teams are getting closer to Red Bull by looking at Aston Martin and Mercedes are doing, what exactly Red Bull is doing, and how they are playing it very smart. And finally, how we hope to see a fight for the win very soon and have a total fight in 2024. Let's get right into it, shall we? With the cost cap that was introduced for 2021, it has meant that the teams cannot just splash all the cash out and upgrade their cars as much as they want. They have to be smart with their upgrades and not have as many so they do not break the cap, which is difficult for some of the bigger teams, and they could bring as many upgrades as they want before 2021. With the new regulations, it has meant that each team have been looking into find what works with their car and what does not, so they can simply just get it quicker. This has been no different for Aston Martin and even more importantly, Mercedes so far this season. Aston Martin brought their first major upgrade package at the very recent Canadian Grand Prix after Fernando Alonso said that after the Spanish Grand Prix that it would be the last race the team would have a podium. They have been the surprise package of 2023 and they want to win a race this season, and this upgrade package has the intention of them doing this. At Canada, Alonso finished P2, just 10 seconds behind Verstappen, which is still a lot, but it's much closer than what they were at the start of the season. Aston Martin is getting closer and closer to Red Bull as they bring their upgrades, and it'll be very interesting to see if they can give Alonso his first win in the sport since 2013. Moving on to Mercedes, and they seem to be the favourites by many to challenge Red Bull the most, even though at this moment in time Aston Martin is quicker than them. This is because of what the team have said in the recent races regarding upgrades and when they will think they'll be in the chance for a race win. Mercedes brought their first major upgrade package at Monaco, and it brought side pods to the car, and it seemed to have worked and given them a better platform to build on. The team are set to bring 2 major upgrade packages before the summer break at Silverstone and at Spa, so it's looking good for the team. Of course, we do not know how these upgrades will affect the pace of the W14, but it does seem like the team are somewhat confident. This is because Toto Wolff in Canada said that he believes that he will be in the chance to win at Silverstone, which Lewis Hamilton is a master at winning it so many times. So, if the upgrades coming at his home race work, he could easily challenge Max Verstappen and Red Bull for the win as they edge closer and closer to the old rivals from 2021. Overall, it does look like Mercedes with their first upgrade package got closer to Red Bull, and we will have to wait and see if these next 2 upgrades before the summer break can push them closer or even ahead of Red Bull. For sure, it will be interesting what the order in terms of pace will be at the end of the season. Will Red Bull still be the quickest, or can Mercedes or Aston Martin move ahead of them? Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. Moving on to our next topic, and that is how Red Bull may actually be holding back and being very smart with their development for the RB19. It is obvious to everyone that Red Bull have both the championships won, and this just may make them think they should just not put that much effort into upgrading this car. They have no direct competition to win the title, so what is the point in wasting money on something that you've already won? Red Bull has nothing to play for, and this is why they are said to already be developing the car for 2024, and this allows them to get ahead of the competition. Whilst other teams are focusing still on this season, Red Bull is already thinking about what they can do so they still be able to stay at the top and dominate for years to come. The RB19 is almost a perfect car, so there's nothing that they can upgrade, so they will be putting all their time and effort into the factory developing what they can for 2024. There's no major rule change as it stands for next season, and it is very important that they stay on their toes and not get complacent, and this is the direction that Christian Horner is pushing his team to do. Overall, by focusing on next season this early, it's a smart move that will hopefully pay off for the team, as they know that the others will still want performances this season, whilst they are happy for others to win races maybe. Because the championship is wrapped up so early. Do you think that this is a smart move by Red Bull, or will it backfire on them? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Our third and final topic of this video is about how we will hopefully have a title fight in 2024 after not having one of the past 2 seasons since the new regulations came into play. Red Bull has nailed the regulations perfectly, whilst everyone else has struggled to find what works for them. But in 2024, every team will then have 2 years of working with these cars under their belts, and this could mean that we see a title fight as teams will know what works and what doesn't work for them. Mercedes, for an example, tried to make the no side pod approach work, and they couldn't find a way for it to do so, and now the car with side pods seems to be working pretty well. We still have the rest of the 2023 season for every team to get the data and information to take into 2024, and this could lead to a spicy title fight. Every other team still has a fairly big gap to bridge, but with Red Bull has less time in the wind tunnel and CFD time as they will win the championship. This will lead to other teams having the chance to use their time over the winter to make that gap up. There are 2 factors that could cause a title fight not to happen, and they are very possible. One of them is Red Bull makes even more innovations and improvements. This can happen pretty easily as they have masterminds, that is Adrian Newey, and he can make the RB20 next year like a rocket ship. Another big factor is that teams who are rivals to Red Bull, like your Mercedes and Aston Martins, simply may just not be able to make up the gap that they need over the winter. This is very possible, as last winter we thought that Mercedes and Ferrari would make up the gap, but in reality they took a step backwards. I'm sure that everyone watching this video would love to see a title fight like we saw in 2021. I mean, I know I would, but it is now down to everyone else but Red Bull to bring the challenge and get closer to them. We will just have to wait and see. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one.